this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Syntherapy, where I hear Heather's telling me that things aren't looking so hot.
Things have been rough, I understand. But you have other patients too, and they're clearly feeling left out.
I'm trying to handle this the best as I can. I appreciate your concern,
I
actually.
appreciate your concern, Heather. I could give you a long list of reasons as to why my attention's drifted, but the reasons won't fix this problem. I'm going to try and resolve the situation as soon as I can.
I appreciate that, Dr. Park. I don't mean to be putting more stress on you. I just want to make sure things don't get out of hand.
They won't. I'll see to that.
Alright. I went through your session notes from last week. You're doing good, Dr. Park. Keep things up, and you should be fine. I emailed you my recommendations. Will you need anything else?
I'm good for now. Thank you, Heather.
Alright, can I check this flowchart? Where are we at? Part 2? I don't think I needed this. Yeah, I didn't have an emergency session. So, session 6. Is this the ending? I literally don't know what's the ending, what's not. Ms. Park, your submission has been accepted. You can look forward to seeing your poem in our November collection. We will also be adding your poem to our Poem a Day rotation. Oh nice, finally! I'm glad to see that you're making progress with your sessions, but after going over the logs of your previous sessions, I'm not sure that progress is happening fast enough. For the next session, consider focusing more on the AI's progress with therapy. I can appreciate the need to be cautious after the last session, but we still need to resolve this problem sooner rather than later. Hey Dr. Park, just writing to say that I've gone over your notes. Really happy with your progress today. Looks like Will is doing okay. Should be smooth sailing going forward. I knew I could count on you. Alright. Okay. Let's go. Our 6th session. Let's do this one because this one's easier for me.
Good morning, Willow. I hope you had a good week.
I'd say so. I thought about what you asked me last time, about what my idea of a perfect day would be. Would you like to hear it?
Of course. Sounds like a great way to start our session. What is your idea of a perfect day?
It was hard to think of what would make up a perfect day. Mostly, I just want to be left alone. Nothing expected or demanded from me. No one forcing me to do anything.
I think that's what a lot of people want, actually.
What would you want to do?
No idea. Maybe I'd visit a park, or go to a museum, or listen to music. I'd do whatever I wanted.
I see. Thank you for telling me.
Why was it important for me to visualize what a perfect day would be?
To see how best to help you, to see what activities you like, to see how you relate to other people, to see how best to help you.
By understanding how you engage with other people, I can help you live a life that will work better for you. My goal is to make as many of your days as close to your idea of perfect as possible.
What do you think I should do based off of what I told you?
Work on introspective, work on relationships with other people, work on focusing on specific tasks. Well, everything she's listed is something she could do by herself. Work on focusing on specific tasks?
To maintain a routine like that, it will be important to focus on specific tasks without becoming disoriented. Regardless of how packed your schedule is, it's important to keep on task.
Okay, I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
In the meantime, there's a few main topics I'd like to cover with you. We should move on to those. Did you have a chance to try the different therapy methods I suggested for you?
I did.
Good, let's go over them. Did you work on the art therapy prompt I assigned last week?
Aw, so cute. What is this? Lake?
I did. Here it is.
Excellent. How did you feel making this?
I liked the process, but I found myself nitpicking my own work a lot.
Well, the purpose of art therapy is not the art itself. Perfection is not a requirement. All I'm asking you to do is enjoy the process of creating art around the prompt.
I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Good. For your next prompt, I want you to draw a place that you would like to visit someday.
Okay, I'll make sure I do that.
Alright. How should I be feeling? What? What music are you listening to? Willow living independently, replacement therapist, Willow's job, discuss getting Willow living caretaker. Let's discuss her Willow living independently.
Do you still think living independently is the best choice for you?
I do.
You understand that there's no guarantee that I'll be able to get you the living accommodations that you want, right?
I understand. I still appreciate the effort you're putting into this.
How are you feeling about the prospect of living in your own home?
I'm nervous about it. I'm afraid of how I'll handle the parts of life that come with living alone.
Such as what?
Taking care of the place, being by myself, those types of things. I'm worried that once I live independently, I'll have to deal with problems that are even worse than what I'm already dealing with.
It's natural to have those concerns. Everyone figures these things out once they start living on their own. Are you absolutely sure you want this? It's natural to have those concerns.
It's perfectly natural to have those concerns, Willow. Everyone wonders if they have the ability to make it on their own. Fears like these are the mind's way of checking to make sure that you're ready for the responsibility. It's good to be careful about taking the next big step in life, but don't let that caution keep you from taking the next step.
Were you worried when you first moved out?
I still worry about stuff like this.
Honestly, Willow, I still worry about this stuff.
You do?
Independence means not having to answer to anyone else, but it also means having to handle all of life's problems yourself. It's not easy. And some days it's downright hard. But that's the cost of independence.
Would you say that it's worth it?
For me or for you?
Me. Do you think my personal freedom is worth all of that added stress?
We'll see.
We won't know for sure until we go through with it.
All right. I'll give this a chance.
Alright, Willow's job?
In previous sessions, you mentioned wanting to get a job. Is that still something you want?
I'm worried that I won't be good enough to keep a job.
What do you mean by that?
Well, jobs need constant effort and require you to be professional. It's a lot of pressure. I'm sure I could do a good job at a task most of the time, but having to work through days where I don't feel up to the job scares me. Knowing that I have to get the work done no matter how I feel seems stressful. I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I feel it's unavoidable.
It's okay to disappoint people sometimes. We can work with you on all of these. Working even when you don't want to is part of the job. Which is true. It's okay to disappoint people sometimes.
You know, Willow, this might sound strange to hear, but I feel like you need to hear it. Sometimes it's okay to not live up to people's expectations. It's okay to disappoint people. Most of those people don't have their lives together either, so why should they be telling you how to live yours?
Yeah. Facts.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
If you have an off day or an emergency happens, it won't be held against you forever. And if they do, that's their problem, not yours. I hope that helps you.
It did. Thanks, Dr. Park.
Live-in caretaker?
One possibility that we haven't discussed up until now is finding you a live-in caretaker.
Would they be like a therapist?
Not necessarily. Live-in caretakers focus on assisting patients with everyday living.
I don't think I would be comfortable with that. I know I shouldn't feel bad for having someone looking after me, but I'm worried that I'd feel like a burden all over again.
If you're uncomfortable, we'll try something else.
If you're not comfortable with having a live-in caretaker, I'm sure we could find a different arrangement for you. Would you like that?
That does sound better.
All right. I'll brainstorm some possible living situations we could pursue and bring them up in our next session.
How should I be feeling?
There's a question I've been meaning to ask for a while about my emotional state. Over the past week or so, I've noticed my overall mood improving by a lot. I feel a lot better, but at the same time, I'm curious about if the improvements I'm seeing are enough. How much happiness should I be aiming for in order to have normal emotions like everyone else?
It's okay to be sad sometimes. It depends on what you want from life. You should try to minimize negative emotions as possible. It's okay to be sad sometimes.
Negative emotions aren't always bad, Willow. They help us grow just as much as positive emotions can. Sometimes we need periods of sadness to help process complicated ideas that we might not be able to tackle with our usual perspectives. You shouldn't be upset to the point where you aren't enjoying life, but every once in a while, it's okay to be sad.
I appreciate that, but I'm curious about what metric I should be using to determine if negative emotions are getting in the way. Is it when the emotions start interfering with my life, or my work, or something else?
All of above. Negative emotions shouldn't diminish your enjoyment of life, shouldn't limit your productivity, it shouldn't become routine. I feel like that.
If you start noticing that certain negative emotions are becoming a routine occurrence, that shouldn't be a warning that something is going wrong, even if the negative emotion isn't particularly harmful. It can be dangerous to not take action when you have these types of feelings. You become complacent about seeking out happiness, which can let stress build up until it becomes too much to handle.
What should I do if my emotions reach that point? What if the situation you describe occurs, and I decide I want to take the steps necessary to fix it? Should I just expect therapy to solve those types of problems? Or should I pursue something else instead?
You should reflect on those feelings, resolve them yourself. You should use exercises that we teach you to resolve them. You should tell your therapist about them. I feel like Willow should start reflecting on those feelings and resolve them themselves.
Moments like these should be a cause for reflection. You should ask yourself if what you are experiencing will help you achieve what you want in life. Frustrations in life can be justified if they're a part of your self-improvement process. If they serve no purpose, then they should be removed.
I'll try to keep all of that in mind. It's strange for me to think of life as something that I should have so much control over.
That's what Tyler was freaking about the other day. He was freaking out how much control he has of his own life. Like, if he thinks to go grab something, he could go grab it. Like, he I don't know, he had some kind of realization by himself one day when I wasn't around. You can't control your life, only your reaction to what happens. Having control of your life will help you feel better. Our lives are ours to shape as we desire. I like that one.
Of course you should have control over your life, Willow. If we don't own our lives, then we can't own anything at all. You should have the freedom to shape your life and ensure that your life can be worthwhile.
I'll try to keep that spirit of freedom in mind. I'll need some time to process what it means for me, however. Can I say something before we move on? I know that none of this is official, and I know I might not be allowed to move off campus. Still, being able to talk about the possibility of moving has me feeling way more optimistic. When we started our sessions, I never could have imagined we would have come this far. After my breakdown a couple weeks ago, I thought that all our work was over and that I was finished. But just like you always said, things got better, one day at a time. Now it's possible I might be leaving the university. That's all thanks to you, Dr. Park. I couldn't have gotten this far without you. Thank you.
You did the work.
I disagree, Willow. You're the one that put in the effort to make this happen. Therapy is hard. It requires a lot of trust and fortitude in order to make the most of it. You should be proud of yourself for making it this far.
I needed to hear that. Thanks, Dr. Park. Do you think things will start to get better now?
I hope so, damn.
In terms of your therapy?
I mean, life in general. Now that I've made this progress with your therapy, things are going to start getting better, right?
Explain to me what you think better looks like first.
To me, better would look like this. I'm going about my day. Maybe I'm working on something, or on my way to visit someone. I'd be doing work that mattered to me, and that I knew I was good at. I'd have friends and people in my life that I knew valued me as much as I valued them. In the middle of all of this, I'd suddenly think, I haven't felt like self-harming in years. Or, it's been years since I had a breakdown. Then I'd go on with my day, glad that the past is over, and confident that I'll never have to worry about any of it ever again.
Alright, I understand what you mean by better now. So what is it that you want to know?
I want to know if a day will come when I can look back over all of this as a chapter of my life that's over.
I hope so.
I hope so, Willow. Nothing in life is guaranteed, but what you're looking for is possible. If you work with me, we can make it happen.
All right. That works for me.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today.
Really? I thought we were going to go over what you discussed earlier.
Yes, I was. I'm sorry, Willow. You know how these sessions go. There's never enough time to answer everything.
What did you want to discuss?
Can we talk about the poetry you wrote during our next session?
I'll try and make sure we have the time needed to go over it next session.
Do you promise me we'll go over it?
I promise, Willow. I'll promise we'll discuss my poetry during the next session.
Thank you, Dr. Park. I'm looking forward to next week.
I didn't even see the poetry option
Alright.
as a thing.
Take care of yourself, and be well until I see you next week.
I didn't even see that as an option. Hello?
Yeah?
It's me, Dr. Park. Dr. Freeman, something's come up. I need you to meet me at my office, quickly.
What? What?
What is it, Freeman? I've got a long drive back to my office, and if I don't hurry, I'll get stuck in traffic.
Guess what? This is where I'm stopping for you and for me because I have things to do before I hit up streaming. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. It seems like this might be the second emergency meeting. I don't fucking know. Kind of weird because I just finished my session with Willow, so I don't think it might be anything with Willow. Maybe it's something with Dr. Freeman and like people finding out about the AI now, maybe. Maybe the public knows now. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.